Hey guys, welcome to the International Coaches Roundtable podcast. This week you are with hosts Elia and Sasha as we interview our special guest, Jack Murray, an elite soccer player out of Portugal and a motivational mindset coach for teens and tweens. Jack has overcome his fair share of adversity and states that this adversity is what has forged his mindset. And so if you're looking for a stronger mindset, pull up a chair and we'll see you at the table. All right, everybody, welcome to the International Coaches Roundtable podcast. My name is Elia Mrakovich. I'm here with co-host Sasha and our guest, Jack. And I just want to remind you guys that we gather like this weekly because we want to make sure that you and us can benefit from all the insights that the best coaching voices can provide. And so a little bit about what's going on here today. Jack is on the call from Portugal. Is that right, Jack?
Yeah, I'm in Portugal.
Yeah, so he's in from Portugal. We got Michigan. We got me out here in Indiana. And we're just here to connect and learn about what Jack has been up to. But Sasha, I know that there was something that you made sure to remind me we were going to talk about. So I want to pass that on to make sure we don't miss it.
Absolutely. Hi, my name is Sasha. I'm a certified master life coach and professional organizer. So what I do is I help people with productivity. I am so looking forward to interviewing Jack Murray. He is an elite soccer player from Portugal, and he has faced some adversity in his life, but he has overcome that adversity, and he's really helped to shift his mindset. And now he helps other people do the same thing. So I'm really looking forward to hearing all the insight that he has to share with us today. Jack, would you like to take the mic and just kind of introduce yourself and kind of just tell us a little bit about you?
Yeah, so thank you guys for having me on. I'm super excited to talk with you. And I think it's going to be a great conversation. So like you guys said, my name is Jack Murray. I'm originally from Canada, Nova Scotia, but last year I moved to Portugal. So I've been in Portugal for the last year and been playing soccer, football, whatever you call it, here in the first division And I'm also an elite level. I'm also a motivational mindset and peak performance coach for other teen and tween athletes.
That is so
okay, real quick.
Interesting.
Jack, okay, so you're saying Division I in Portugal. I know about England teams. What team are you for right now? What are we talking here?
So I have been.
Or are we not allowed to say that?
Oh, we can say it.
We're allowed to say it.
Oh, okay, I just want to make sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I have been a Wolves supporter for the longest time. I love the Wolverhampton Wanderers. I love like Adama Traore. I'm so glad that Julian Lopetegui is now there. And they also have a bunch of really good Portuguese players. They've Jose Sa, and the list really goes on and on and on. So that is my favorite team.
Gotcha. So you can definitely judge me. I'm a Man City fan.
Okay.
I'm coming clean and honest about it, but I was into them before it was cool and before they were good. And mostly because my brother was a United fan. So I had to really stick it to him on that one. So I have loved them dearly. Erling Haaland makes my heart sing. He was incredible this week in the Champions League. Yeah. I mean, unbelievably good. So okay. Sasha's looking at us like we're losing our minds a bit. So you need, okay, Jack, where are you playing right now in Portugal? What team are you on?
So I am playing for Damaiense. They have a full program from very, very little all the way to the senior. So the women's senior team is actually the national champions of Portugal, which I think is so cool. And they also have a men's team. So yeah, I play for Damaiense.
That is awesome. That is super cool.
So cool. I have so many questions. I think first of all, I just want to say how amazing and inspiring it is for you to not only, number one, reach so many goals, at your age, but number two, that you have the wisdom that you want to also serve your community by helping other people, overcome some of the challenges that you have faced already in your life. That is huge. And I think that is one of the biggest reasons I was excited to be interviewing you today. I'm going to keep this brief, but when I was younger, when I had, when I was 13, 14, I went through some big challenges myself, and I overcame them. And I carried that with me into my adulthood. The fact that I was able to do that, and then serving people became so much more powerful for me because I felt like I had a lot of time that to really develop those traits in myself. So it's exciting to be able to connect with you about that. Can you just tell us a little bit about some of your big goals coming up? So I know that, you're doing all the things that you're doing right now. What are some of your big goals, into the future coming up?
So definitely I want to reach more teen and tween athletes, because I know for me, part of the reason that I'm able to perform at a high level is because of my mindset. It's something that has set me apart. And a lot of my coaches have said that that's something that really gives me an advantage over a lot of my competition that I've played against. And it was really crucial when I came here to Portugal. So I definitely want to impact more teen tween athletes because it's so important. And also I want to go to the national division in Portugal, because right now I'm in the first division, and as high, but the national division will actually play against like Benfica and Sporting and Porto, all their academies. Now I play against their like B and C teams, but I want to play against their A teams. And I was actually very close to getting to the national division. I just have to work on getting bigger, but technically I was good enough to play there. So I definitely want to go to the national division and impact more teens and tweens with mindset.
So when they say you need to get bigger, are they like you're like you need to go that?
No.
Are they like you need to like start lifting a bit more? Like what is that?
High heels. No,
like what are we talking about here?
Sorry, I wasn't very clear with that. So I need to get bigger, like physically. So I need to do like more push-ups and stuff like that to get stronger.
Okay, that's awesome. Very, very cool. So for you, so you got these goals on the horizon.
Yeah,
those are pretty lofty goals for a 15-year-old, right? Like that's huge. I mean, I don't share that caliber of goals right now, and I'm okay with that. Tell us, you didn't get here overnight. Like, so you said you're in Portugal now, and I know the system and the way they recruit is very, very different than kind of the US system. And so I'm curious, so Nova Scotia, Canada, now you're in Portugal. What was that kind of transition like? What was early Jack Murray like?
Like what was the transition like from going to Canada, Nova Scotia to then coming to Portugal?
Yeah, like how was it for you when you got whether it's discovered, or like what was this process of kind of eventually landing in Portugal?
Okay, so I've been playing soccer since basically I could walk, and I eventually joined like the competitive team and in my the competitive team in my area. And fast forward to like 2021, the year that I left Canada and went to Portugal, I was scouted as one of the top 2008 midfielders for my age for the provincial team. And it was all really good. And I was really excited about that. And I played in the All-Star game. But what actually ended up happening was that the opportunity to move to Europe, to play in Europe, presented itself. And for me, I had always wanted to go to Europe, Spain, actually. So it's kind of funny that I ended up in Portugal because they're neighboring countries. But I'd always wanted to go to Europe. And then when the opportunity presented itself, we ended up taking fearless action, because also some of my coaches said that if I want to make it pro, which I do, then I would need to go to Europe before the age of 13. So I went when I was 13, and like 13 or under. So I went when I was 13, and I've been here ever since. And when I first got there, I was playing with the second division club, and now I'm in the first division club, and now I'm trying to get to the national division club. But mindset was very important in that transition, because even like when I came here, the first couple clubs I trialed for, I remember one of the clubs in particular, they like it, whenever you go to a competitive environment, there's always going to be a bit of edge, a bit of like very competitive, and especially in Portugal when you're Canadian, and we are getting better at soccer. We are getting much better, but them being Portuguese, they was kind of like, Canadian. So actually what they did was, when I first got there, they stuck me in the rondo. So what a rondo is that one player's in the middle, and then the rest of the players are on the outside, and they're passing around. So as soon as I got there, I was put in the middle, and the longer you're in the middle, the worse it is for you. So I got out of the middle very quickly, but even if I didn't get out of the middle quickly, my mindset was really important to be like focused, to not be intimidated by these kids that were putting me in the middle of the rondo. So I had times like that too, or like some coaches are like Canadian, but like just stuff like that. So the transition was definitely interesting, but I'm on the other side of it now, and it's fun. It's fun to be here.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have a question, if it's okay. When you were switching up your mindset in that transition, what were some of the things that you did to really help keep your mindset, you know, the way it needed to be in order for you to get out of the middle?
I think what a lot of people do is sometimes when they get nervous, they start to doubt themselves. And self-doubt is something that can really hinder your performance. But actually, if you think about how good you have been and your accomplishments, and believe in yourself. Like if I thought to myself that I was just from Canada, I was playing in Canada, my club. I'm Canadian, they're Portuguese, they're known to be a great footballing nation. That could have easily made me get demoralized and get down on myself. But what I did was that I realized that I was scouted as a top player. I know that I have the ability to play with these kids. And so that was kind of what was going through my mind, trying to reassure myself that I was able to play with these kids, to play up to this level.
Wow. Yeah. So it really sounds like you reminded yourself of already the accomplishments that you had made to help remember just why you believe in yourself and to give yourself some encouragement to keep going forward. So it sounds like making sure to constantly remind yourself that you can do this, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish in your life, that, you know, there are reasons why you want the goal and also why you are where you are right now.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And exactly what I was saying, because also like if I went down myself, then my confidence would have gone it would have gone very low. But confidence is so important as an athlete. You need to have it. So it's also also really ties into the confidence that you need as an athlete.
Well, it sounds too like there's this kind of two competing stories about who you were, where you were coming from, and how that was going to define the way that you would move forward. And you were doing this active work internally to silence that and to choose a new story going forward, one that was not defined by your national heritage, right? One that was not defined by being the new kid on the block. And instead, you showed up and you crushed it. And then you made a space for yourself. And it's interesting. So you talked about how you're through it and it's easier now. So talk to me about that. I'm very intrigued by how there was what did that look like when you first arrived? Obviously you're in the rondo, like there's a whole, and I'm assuming that's like one moment of a series of high intensity moments. So tell me a bit about that transition to kind of carve your space into this area and how you kept your head and your mindset.
Yeah. So also when I came to Portugal, I did not speak Portuguese. I spoke some Spanish. So I thought that would get me by, but no, they much prefer English. They're very offended. They can get it, depending on who you're talking to, they can get offended when you use Spanish. So I learned that lesson quickly, but so yeah, you're right. That was kind of one sequence. Now, some coaches I talked to were very friendly and they introduced me really nice, but some coaches also were kind of distant and kind of shared the same attitude as a lot of the kids on the team that would have thought, this is the new kid, he's not even from Europe, put him in the rondo, let's say. But there were a lot of those moments even with coaches, from like sometimes we would go to training and the parents wouldn't talk to my parents or us like at all. They kind of move away. But it's very competitive, especially with football being so close to their hearts. It's like something that's very competitive.
Yeah, and that competition can boil up even in the home. So I know where I'm at, Indiana. It's like this really quiet place where soccer has started to take hold. A lot of people from the Chicago area coming down and playing, but I also know that when your kids are involved, the parents seem to be equally as invested, to the point where all of the stereotypes I've heard about are now real in this community. And so I can imagine at the higher level that there's this even deeper sense of personal investment. What was it like? I'm intrigued by your parents in this situation, if I can be so, maybe invasive, because, they came with you, all the way to Portugal. Like they upended their lives to participate and support you in this endeavor, which once in a lifetime, you got to go. But I'm assuming that you've had to not only manage your mindset, but also work to manage the mindset in your family. And I'm curious, has that been like you having to work to help them feel secure? Has it been them fighting to help you be more secure? I just imagine I would be losing my freaking mind,
It's a big change.
Yeah.
No matter what age you are, right? So
I'm lucky that because of an autoimmune disorder when I was little, I am homeschooled, and also my parents are both internet marketers, so they work from home. So I'm lucky that their jobs are very remote and they can do it from literally anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So that was really lucky, but we have a great relationship. So sometimes they'll be the ones reassuring me that that it's all right. And sometimes I'll be the ones reassuring them. And it's kind of funny because obviously we came here for me, but they also say that they've now fallen in love with Portugal and all the people here. So it's really nice.
Wow. What a cool experience. Just to be able to, at any age, change up your environment and experience something new. So not only are you getting this awesome opportunity to follow your dreams, Jack, but you also have this cool opportunity that not everybody gets, right? To just go somewhere completely new, meet different people who speak a different language, who have a completely different culture. But there had to have been some adversity through this. I can only imagine, right? I mean, you speak of having an autoimmune disorder. How did that play into this whole picture?
So when I was little, I developed an autoimmune disorder, and we actually ended up having to travel to the States, firstly because they didn't understand. The doctors in Canada didn't understand what it was. They couldn't figure it out. And then again, once the doctors in the US figured it out, we had to go there for treatment because they don't treat it in Canada. So that actually affected my motor skills. And I remember just wanting to kick the ball. So to get an understanding of where I was at. The doctors would throw a ball to me and I'd kick it back at them.
Wow.
But so that has definitely calmed down a lot, and it doesn't normally flare up. But that is something that I keep in the back of my mind. But I also feel like even though that was a difficult time, I learned a lot about mindset. I learned how to be grateful. I learned how to talk out my problems. And I believe that anything can be used to your advantage, even if you feel like it can be a disadvantage. For example, the autoimmune disorder, it was definitely a hard thing to deal with, but it also, it was a hard thing to deal with, but also it made me realize that I am strong and I can get through this challenge and this challenge and the next challenge. And even though it was a tough time, it's given me belief and confidence in myself that I'm strong enough to battle with any storm.
Wow.
Yeah, and the storm that I think comes along with anything medical is it's not even fully a mindset thing, but it's embracing the fact that there are things out of your control and then helping to identify the things that are in control that you can actually have an impact on. And that's got to be an incredible skill set to have, especially at a younger age, to be able to go into the competitive circle, to recognize where can I have influence, where do I not have influence. So this kind of lesson that's come out of autoimmune disorder, huge transition and change, lots of travel, different languages. So where you are now, is most of your work particularly done online? Is most of your work done in person?
Pretty much all of it is done online. Yeah, so it is all online. I have an online website. I'm getting ready to do a online live event, which should be happening this month in March. So I'm very excited for that. But yeah, so it is all online.
That's awesome. So anybody listening today, if you want to connect with Jack, learn a bit more about what he's doing, his website's obviously available. There's a live event. That's awesome. That's very cool.
We'll definitely also post the links down below too at the end, like on our YouTube channel and everything. You're very, I keep saying this, but it's so true to me anyway. You're very inspiring, you know, the way that you have molded your mindset, maybe even from when you were younger and now even still when you transitioned to Portugal, you know, the way you have molded your mindset to be where it is now. It was almost like, it seems like you almost like evolved. You know what I mean? Like it almost feels like at such a young age, you dug deep and you found a spark and you rode that spark and you didn't stop. And when I talk about a spark, I guess I just mean like somewhere deep inside, you knew what you wanted. Like it was attractive to you to be able to just kick the ball, even though you were struggling through your autoimmune disorder, right? It was attractive to you to just kick the ball. And then it was exciting for you to keep doing it. And then to believe in yourself that you could go even further. I am just in total awe, to be honest. But how do you then inspire other people? What do you do to maybe ignite that spark for others to help them do some of the same things that you have figured out for yourself?
So I feel like a lot of times we all try and go like externally to try and find the answers to our problems. But I notice that oftentimes if you ask the right questions as a coach, or even if you just journal or ask yourself questions, you can find a lot of the answers internally. And I think that's kind of neglected because you, even like with the internet, it's great, but you just search like how to do this. But oftentimes the most revealing and the most powerful realizations about yourself come from going inward. But sorry, the question was, but sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought. What was the question?
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's okay. And plus I get long-winded as well. But the question was, how do you ignite the spark for other people to really find the things that they're wanting to do in their life, you know, to be able to keep believing in themselves?
I think what I try and do is I try and help them go deep inside themselves by asking the right questions, doing exercises, so they can find the spark, their why, what makes them feel alive, what makes them want to go to the ends of the world to achieve. So I can do exercises, we can ask questions, and I find that the different ways it is more based on who you are talking to, because everyone is so unique.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So then obviously everyone's unique. They've all got their own kind of history, story that you're going to be able to participate in as a coach for them. I'm curious for, you know, those of us who are older, you're working with this younger generation more directly. You're in it yourself. Tell me a bit about kind of what are some consistent themes that you feel like you've come across with clients, like things that they're trying to overcome, maybe things that seem to be similar. And we're not trying to generalize, but at least maybe get a sense.
Confidence is so huge. It's just this huge thing because it is so valued in today's world, and not everyone is naturally confident. And it's something that a lot of people will come talk to me about, and we have exercises that we can do together about. But so definitely confidence has been a big one. Also like being able to, this also kind of ties into confidence, but also being able to public speak. I've worked with people on that. And I love working with people on that because I personally love to public speak. I remember I've like done speeches at like a homeschooling group for like these little events that we would do. So I love that. But also, um, we work on the belief in yourself, because I notice a lot of time people come to me and they're often really down on themselves. But actually, I'm sometimes amazed because the things that they do, I find so amazing, but they are not able to see it because they're focusing on what they're not good at, what they wish they're good at. So obviously I try and build them up with and help them see what I see in them. And then we can work and try and overcome the problems that they have, take out the limiting beliefs and all of that.
That makes so much sense. So I had the privilege of being able to have Jack coach me. I asked him to, and it was amazing. I wanted to just bring this up because I did not know what to expect. And in the session, I brought up some of my, my concerns about how I had a baby and I wasn't able to lose my weight. And I was feeling a lot of like insecurities about this.
Yeah.
Jack coached me and was so powerful with some of the things that he taught me in that session, that after I got out of that session, I was already looking at water bottles like online, looking at them and saying, oh my gosh, I need to get one of these water bottles that I'm talking about are these cool like water bottles that tell you exactly how much water is in your water bottle. And then it has like all these little phrases like, keep going, you got this. And it was perfect for me. And he brought that into the session. Hey, I just randomly thought about this water bottle that I think that could really help you to like, drink more water. And since you, Sasha, told me that water is important to you, here's this, idea. Some coaches don't have that automatically in their backpack to pull out for their client. And so that was huge for me. And also he helped me develop a plan of action for myself that after leaving my first session with him, I felt like ready. I felt ready to make a change and create a plan for myself. And my values started to shift as well, because I didn't realize I was so focused on what I looked like versus how I was feeling inside. And Jack's session with me, it was very moving. And so I just wanted to bring that up and share that into this experience. So that way any of our listeners can know that, age is just a number, because Jack in the session with me helped me to completely switch my perspective. And so I am so honored that you were willing to come on to our podcast today, that you were willing to do a pro bono coaching session with me just for my experience of being, coached by you. And I just wanted to, share that with people in case that they're, interested in reaching out to you to gain some confidence or to overcome some adverse problems. I want them to know that you're effective.
Well, that means so much to me that you say that. And I'm so glad that you got all that value out of our session. And it just makes me so happy.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it was great. So Elia, do we have any other questions? We are running out of time for our podcast. So
no, Jack, you're just an amazing guy. I really appreciate the work you're doing. I think, as Sasha noted, it's impactful, it's meaningful, it's effective. Don't let anybody look down on you because of age, because let me tell you, age is not an indicator of wisdom or full life experience. Maybe it's life experience, maybe just not life understanding. So
yeah. Also, I wanted to really quick ask, Jack, what were you excited about coming onto ICR today? Were you excited? Were you hopeful? What was your...
I was really excited to do this because I'd seen some other episodes and it looked really good. And I love that you guys are collecting all of these coaches and all of these wisdom and all of this wisdom and putting it out and providing so much value, because I was listening to the other episode and I was like, wow, this has so much value. And I came in today wanting to bring value. And I know you guys choose really, really good coaches to bring in. So to all the listeners out there, you should definitely subscribe and like and share this, because what ICR does is they gather the best coaching, the best coaches, the best thoughts, the best so many things, the best and they put
ICR is so many things.
Yeah.
And we didn't pay him for that. That was not
that
us.
Was
so
free.
Jack, we appreciate that. We appreciate the support, and
yes,
we look forward to hopefully being able to circle back. We'd love to hear about how your journey progresses in time, and just we're all going to keep eyes on kind of what you're doing and ways that we can support. Always just reach out. Thanks, Jack. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much.
Do you have any real quick techniques, tips for people, for listeners, just to take into the next week, into the next episode that they can just use and try out?
So this one is gonna be about confidence. So like I said, there are so many ways we can get down on ourselves, but if you're able to find the one way or the many ways that you can lift yourself up, it's so powerful. And something that I do, it has helped me. It's a confidence pill. So I learned this from Florence Andres. She's a Mind Valley speaker, and she said this really interesting thing. Just for 60 seconds to your partner or to yourself, just list for 60 seconds all of your accomplishments, and then notice how you feel before and how you feel after. And I tried it, and I was like, wow, this just filled me with so much confidence. Wow. And it gave me the confidence to perform better and do these things. And ever since then, it's like my secret tool that I use whenever I'm feeling low on confidence or need some confidence before I do something big or before I go into a game.
Remind us of what that's called again.
The Total Confidence Pill by Florence Andres. And also really quick, I know people love vision boards, but you can also make an accomplishment board. So basically list all of your accomplishments. So if you're feeling down, again, like the confidence pill, it will lift you back up.
Oh, cool. I am going to be trying these things. I love it. But thank you so much, Jack. Thank you so much, Elia. This has been great.
Yes. Thank you so much, you guys, for having me on, and keep doing the great work that you guys are doing.
Yeah.
You too, Jack. You too. All right, guys, that is it for this week. We want to give a big thank you to Jack Murray for making space in his life for us and to share with you, our audience, about how to overcome adversity with a strong mindset. If you want to keep track of Jack's work and see what he's doing, go ahead and check the show description. All of the contact info will be in there. And as always, please make sure to subscribe, like, follow, leave a 5-star review. You have no idea how helpful that is. All right, thank you. And we'll see you guys next week.